America and Canada, they're sharing intelligence. And there was an article that came out the other day talking about how much, I think it was New Zealand, I think paid $100 million just to get information from this Five Eyes consortium here. But they point out that it has two tactics. One is to inject all sorts of false material onto the internet in order to destroy the reputation of its targets. Say they assassinate your character, then they assassinate you. That's how they kill the messenger. You need to see that movie, by the way, the Gary Webb movie. But here's the other thing they do. They use social science and other techniques to manipulate online discourse and activism to generate outcomes that they consider to be desirable. See, that's what's behind this study that the FCC commissioner blew the whistle on. That's what's behind the survey. That's what's behind this Truthy project. They're not just curious as to how we get social pollution. It's more than just the government looking at this and pushing back against people and saying, that's true, that's false, we're going to expose that. No, that's not what they're going to do. They've taken off the restrictions from Voice of America, from Radio Free Europe, to broadcast within the United States, but it's not going to be that obvious. It's going to be a scientific approach. That's what we're going to see from this. Look at some of the things that they have in their playbook. These are some of the slides. Pull these up. The disruption operational playbook. Here's some of their tactics. Infiltration, ruse, set piece, false flag, false rescue, disruption, a sting operation. Here's how some of this is going to work. If you want to discredit a target, you set up a honey trap. In other words, a sexual tryst, like we see the way they took down allegedly Julian Assange, alleging that he had raped two women. Was that essentially a honey trap? I think it was. You could change the photos on their social networking sites. This is their slide. This is how they're teaching their government agents to discredit targets, people they don't like. They could write a blog purporting to be one of their victims. They could email or text their colleagues, their neighbors, their friends, etc., doing things that are not going to put them in a positive light. They can discredit a company. They can leak confidential information. They can post negative information on appropriate forums. They can stop deals, and they can ruin business relationships. And again, the bottom line here is the 4 Ds. This is what government today is about. Deny, disrupt, degrade, deceive. Now, Glenn Greenwald points out in this article, he says, no matter what your views are on anonymous, hacktivists, or just criminals, he says it's not difficult to see how dangerous it is to have secret government agents being able to target any individuals that they want who have never been charged with any crimes, let alone convicted of any crimes. This is the war on drugs on steroids. This is what we saw happen with the war on drugs decades ago, where they would confiscate people's property. That's become a major source of funding for all these militarized police forces. It's the confiscation of what they call civil asset forfeiture. They never charge you with a crime. They charge your property, the inanimate object, with a crime and merely take it from you. You have to sue them in court. And he goes on. I'm going to read one more quote from him. The broader point is that far beyond hacktivists, these surveillance agencies have vested themselves with the power to deliberately ruin people's reputations, to disrupt their online political activity, even though they've been charged with no crimes, and even though their activities have no conceivable connection to terrorism or even national security threats. Now, as I mentioned, this all started with the war on drugs, and it's interesting to see that Obama is now looking to put in a new civil rights division head who wants to decriminalize possession of all drugs. We'll talk about that, but first I want to play a little bit of Rob Dew. As much time we've got for this segment, let's play Rob's report. This is about what your children are being given in the toy stores.
Hey guys, Rob Dew from Infowars.com, and I saw this story last night on DailyMail.com, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. It has to do with the show Breaking Bad and the action figure that they're selling. And what's really weird is that they're selling this at a kid's toy store, Toys R Us. Florida mom demands Toys R Us remove Breaking Bad action figure that comes complete with toy meth. Florida mom is campaigning to have the show's action figures pulled from the store's racks and website, saying its adult themes and depiction of violence and drug abuse aren't suitable for children. Now, if you go to the actual website for Toys R Us and you look up the Breaking Bad 6-inch action figure Heisenberg, shows a picture of him selling it for $13.99. You go to the product description and it says this unforgettable variant edition figure features Walter as his alter ego of Heisenberg. He comes complete with removable hat, removable glasses, a sack of cash, and a bag of blue crystals. Here's a close-up of the bag of blue crystals, and you can see this is what the meth that he was so famous for dealing during the entire series of the show. Incidentally, he was using this to pay for his overpriced cancer treatment that was not covered under his insurance, but that's a whole nother side issue. So there they are equating, hey, you sell drugs, you get a sack of cash to go along with it. But what happens if you get caught distributing these drugs? Well, here it is off criminaldefenselawyer.com. Federal law mandates a prison term even for first convictions of at least 5 years for anyone convicted of possessing 5 grams of meth with the intent to distribute it, and at least 10 years for possessing 50 grams for distribution purposes. You look at that bag that...
All right, we're going to have to, we ran out of time on this segment. We're going to pick up that report right after it, and I'm going to have a comment about Obama's new Civil Rights Division head wanting to decriminalize all drugs. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My Magic Mud is a tooth whitening powder that removes plaque and detoxifies your mouth. It's safe for your enamel, giving you a beautiful polish and a dentist-like clean after every use. My Magic Mud is also the perfect remedy for pain caused by sensitivity. It strengthens your teeth and gums for a strong, healthy smile. The ingredients are 100% natural and it's safe for children. Simply brush with My Magic Mud right before bedtime for a cleaning you can count on. Visit mymagicmud.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. We were playing Rob Dew's report on this Breaking Bad doll. They have actually put into the toy stores a doll that has a bag of crystal meth for your kids to play with, I guess. Can we distinguish between prohibition and promotion of drugs? Let's go back to that report that Rob Dew had. It's a very good report. I want to finish that, and then I'm going to have a comment about Obama's new Civil Rights Division head wanting to decriminalize all drugs. Here's that report.
I went to our local Toys R Us, and you could see they don't sell the Eisenberg figures here anymore. They were sold out of them, but they do have the Jesse one, and it is on an end cap, but it's right around the corner from other things like Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, WWE wrestling guys. So it's right on that end cap. So any kid looking for those could go around, see the Heisenberg action figure, say, "Oh, Breaking Bad, this is the show you like, Dad. Here, let's get it and bring it home. Oh, I've got my little bag of meth. I'm going to go around and sell it." Teaching kids to almost become drug dealers. I don't know if you see the connection here, but this should not be at Toys R Us. Toys R Us doesn't sell the Cheech and Chong action figures. No. So they shouldn't be selling action figures having to deal with harder drugs even than marijuana, which is meth.
This is not meth.
Here it is out of the Telegraph. Parents outraged as Toys R Us sells crystal meth Breaking Bad dolls. Here's another one out of the Inquisitor. Breaking Bad doll spurs Toys R Us petition, kids shouldn't play with meth. The petition on change.org was started by Susan Myers, who says that Breaking Bad sets have no place in Toys R Us or any other store that caters to children. People get mad, they put the word out on the blogs, they start their petitions, and now you can't even find this at any of the stores, Toys R Us stores in the Austin area. And when I approached the girl at the front desk at Toys R Us, the local one here in Austin, she said the product had been discontinued. It had an X denoting it, and so she said that means it's discontinued, they're not going to sell it anymore. So it looks like they are feeling the heat from this, which is good. So you need to get out there and speak your mind, especially when you see things like this, because you never know. It could just be one person there that changes the tide of a giant toy company and Toys R Us. Once again, this has been Rob Dew with another report at Infowars.com. Put your comments below. What do you think about all this?
It's a great report. You know, we have to distinguish between the promotion of drugs and prohibition. Think back to alcohol prohibition. They passed a constitutional amendment in the first place to give the federal government even the power to do that because they don't have the power under the Constitution. Where are the amendments to the Constitution to prohibit marijuana or any of these things? No, they don't have it. That was the beginning of lawlessness. And what we've seen from that is civil asset forfeiture, where they take property from people without even charging them with a crime, let alone convicting them of a crime. We've seen the militarization of police forces, the corruption of police forces. We've seen SWAT team raids explode. Now, of course, they don't need that anymore. Perhaps that's why they're looking at legalizing this. I've talked many times to people from law enforcement against prohibition. They understand how it has corrupted our entire system of government with this kind of prohibition. But of course, they've militarized this to the extent that now they have the Department of Education using SWAT teams on people who are late on their student loan fees. We're arming all of our agencies, turning them all into militarized SWAT teams. It doesn't matter. It's not just about the war on drugs. So perhaps they don't need it anymore. It's been very useful for them to fill up their prisons. They have used mandatory minimums to put people who are just nonviolent users of marijuana away for a very long time without any discretion from the judge. We just had a recent case that the Obama administration, under Eric Holder, tried to put a man away for 85 years who was growing medical marijuana in Montana, doing it as a model for others, according to state officials. It was legal in that state, but they tried to put him away for 85 years. Now they say they're going to legalize it. I hope that they stop prohibition. It is a medical issue. It's a spiritual issue. You can even say a psychological issue. It is not a law enforcement issue. Everything doesn't have to be that. We're going to be joined with Anthony Gucciardi. Stay with us in the next hour. We have special reports from Alex Jones, and in the third hour, Francis Boyle about bioterrorism in Africa.
GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.